Hello, everybody. Welcome to Queer Games Heck Yeah for today. I'm Luke Miller, game dev. I love queer games for a bunch of reasons, but I'm playing through a bunch of them for the Queer Games bundle, which you can get right now. Well worth your time and money. Look it up. I want to get right into it today. I hope you're having a really good day. I am having a above average day, I reckon. What I'm really love, but yeah, it's a good day. But also, it's been a pretty good month. Like I've got to say, I've been playing a lot of these little indie games for the last couple of weeks, and they've really been giving me mana. Is that a word? mana, mana, like in manna from heaven, like the food of the gods. Like really, just lifting up the soul. And because every game is different, you never quite know what you're going to get. Well, I never know what I'm going to get, and some of them are like surreal, thought-provoking pieces about like what is the nature of space, like as in like meeting spaces, and others are just like, oh, am I settling for this guy just because it's the end of the world? Like, if it wasn't the end of the world, would I not be talking to this guy? And that just little things like that just kind of like pique your interest and just kind of get you thinking, and feed the soul a bit, nourish the soul. Not that this next game is going to, because I never want to put the pressure of the previous games onto the next game. Because you think about it, often these are just like one person, often a young person who's just made it for like a game jam or something. I think this is a game jam game because it says on the screen submission for Yuri Game Jam. So you never want to put too much pressure on the game because obviously it's just someone having a bit of fun. But at the same time, my sort of personal theory about queer games is that people just have this like burning desire to tell their own little stories. And maybe that's what we'll get today. In fact, what we've got today is a game called Old Gay Cats Look at Old Photos, which is a fabulous title. Like, maybe we don't actually need the game because the title's good enough. But let's give it a go. I'm playing this in the. Ooh, that's a bit loud in my ears. I'm going to turn it down here. But I think it's okay for you. It's rain if you can't hear it. Two old gay cats, both alike in sweetness. Oh, a bit of a Shakespeare opening there. I love it. A bit of a callback. Bringing in my 1570s homies. Love it. In Fair 101 Twilight Street. Oh, and also a bit of a Twilight reference there. Loving my 2006 homies. In Fair 101 Twilight Street, where we lay our scene. From old lady gossip to old lady sappiness, where they will look at old photos. I'm home. Silence. Sneak attack. Wah. I'm going to be doing the 1960s Catwoman thing a lot. Don't be afraid to use your nails, boys. Greetings, darling. Hi to you too, sweetie. I can't do cute cat voice. You're just going to have to settle for my regular voice. So how was your day? Was work good? Work was mostly fine, but darling, you will not believe this, but I think we might have encountered the rudest person in the entire universe. Oh no, really? Spill it over tea? I would really love tea right now, darling, so yes, please. Oh, is this something we do? MILF lover number one. Find joy in the small things. I'm playing this in a window on a 4K screen, so it is really about that big. So if I'm leaning in to read, you'll understand why. So darling, a few minutes of old ladies chatting and gossiping later. Oh, that is cool art. Juliet, and that is how my day went. Romeo, no, seriously? Seriously, I do not understand how she had the gall to just say something like that. Darling, she really must have been consuming my mind. She really must have been consuming my mind. I only noticed how vicious the rain is. Yeah, it's really raining cats and dogs. Kaboom! Oh yes, it is, darling. even despite the zero change prediction of rain. Rain, darling. Juliet. I like the tail moves as well. You suppose the garden will be okay? As if a cat has ever cared about the garden. Every cat I've known has been more than happy to dig up the garden. Sometimes maliciously so. I'm sure it'll be okay, sweetie. No, darling, you are right. Gee, they're really into each other. I like that. Our majestic garden cannot be wrecked by just some misty rain. My new place has a lawn. It's the first time I've had a lawn since in forever really, and I've been mowing it, and I'm just like I'm in love with this lawn. I'm like, it's so lawny. The garden bed is one step above though. I've got no idea how to look after plants. As you were saying about Mrs. What's Her Face, Juliet. Talk about that. Talk about that upstruck hecker one more later. Yes, please. I'd very much appreciate that, darling. I mean, I've got the old cats, but where are the old photos? I want the old photos. Darling, we've not even yet talked about how your day was yet. We've not even talked about how your day was yet. How rude of me. I'm garbling it a bit. Apologies. My day was good, sweetie. Mercutio gave me a ring. He's doing very well. He's really excited to open his fashion boutique. I like Mercutio. Capulet also dropped by for a sec. She's very happy with Michael. Oh, yes, darling. Michael's very sweet, and it's wonderful how much she likes him. I do get the feeling they're purring at each other, which is super, super romantic. Though I was mostly digging through old boxes, and I found this old album, a very empty album. I think I remember a short time ago I tried to make these cute little mini albums to give Mercutio and Capulet. I must have put them away, meaning to get back to them at a later date, and then proceeded to utterly forget about them. My bad. Hey, want to look at some old photos? Why not, darling? I'm sure it'll be enjoyable. Oh, look at the eyes on that cat. Gosh, more enjoyable than talking about an upstruck hecker. Okay. Let's look at this first one. Oh, a grade 8 prom photo. They're high school sweethearts. Oh, darling. Every time I see this, maybe I should do it in my old-timey transatlantic voice. All right, I'll try and do Juliet. Every time I see this photo, I just think about how so thrilled you were to wear this dress. Oh yeah, my mum's old dress. You modded it so I could wear it. And then later spilt fruit punch all over. Oh darling, I remember that I thought that your mother was going to murder me. I thought she was going to murder me. I ended up feeling like I was trying to concoct a potion with how many chemicals and things I used to get that stain out. It doesn't really suit the old-timey voice. Thankfully, darling, your mum was very patient with me and with figuring out how to get the stain out. Darling, I'm very glad that I can now laugh at my past stresses. The word darling and sweetie comes up in this game a lot. Is it like, a little bit absolutely fabulous, sweetie darling? I'm also glad about that, sweetie. You know what? We were so cute back then. We were so cute back then, darling. I can't believe that was really nearly 40 years ago already, darling. They both say as if they haven't. Oh, they both say as if they both aren't still cute. Very cute. I mean, old cats kind of are pretty cute. Mostly because you know their bird catching days are behind them. Oh, darling, I also still remember how nervous I was about asking you out to that prom, I bet. I'm certain that there was zero chance you would say yes. You seemed so scary and cool before I got to know you. Turns out you were also just a big old nerd. Oh, how that turned out to be very true, darling. Oh, you suppose it was in part due to the fact I was one of the first in the grade to have my first big growth spurt? I would think so, surely. Oh yes, I was the tallest cat in our grade for quite some time, was I not, darling? Oh yes, you were. I almost forgot that I used to be the taller one until I was reminded at this exact specific moment. Oh, nothing, darling. If you say so. Did you also almost forget that you were the one super cool? You were the super cool and sexy one? No, darling, I can not ever forget something like that. At least, not when you're always reminding me. Oh. Although, darling, you are a bit mistaken. You were the coolest and sexiest one. Okay, these two are a keeper. They're I know it's already 40 years, but they've got another 40 years in them at this rate. Although 40 years for cats is very long. Are you just the sweetest? Darling, you are too sweet. I will say that I think maybe this game needs an editor, just to kind of like, um, it's a little bit stop and start. I kind of wish there was a bit more of a cadence or a bit more of a flow to the dialogue, and I think you get that if you like reading it out. Maybe it's because it's my cadence. Everyone has their own cadence a bit, and often when you play a game and the cadences match, you get a really smooth flow. So I can't say this game has no cadence because it obviously probably has one, but it's clashing a bit with my own cadence, and to me, it's a little harder to read that way. Hub, this was pretty fun. I think you should really finish these little mini albums. Mercutio and Capulet would love something like this. I can even help you with them if you want. Darling, yes, I think I should. I'll let you know if I need assistance putting them together. Well, once I start working on them again, that is. Want to move on to the next photo? Yes, why not, darling? Okay. So I guess the game is, well, Yuri, I guess, is, I'm pretty sure Women Who Love Women. So it's a Women Who Love Women game. Um, they're kind of two elderly cats looking back at the past. And I guess these photos are from different episodes of their life. And we're going to get the whole story, hopefully. It's nice. What do you call it? Nice structure, nice narrative structure. Let's look at the next one. It's very peaceful, I think. Also, I mean, the art is just really like, it's like it looks a little Terminator to me, but it's more like cats often have interesting patterns, and so I think the person who made this has owned a few cats in their time, or the people that made this. You can never tell. This sleeve has two photos in it. I must have accidentally picked up two photos when I was putting them into the sleeves. Oh well, that just means we can look at them both. Which one first? Oh, photo of Juliet on stage. Ah, oh, it's the photo you took at me at one of my first drag shows, darling. Oh yeah, it is. Oh darling, now I'm thinking back to all the elaborate dresses and over-top wigs and complex makeup jobs. It sure was an interesting. It surely was a very interesting, but also very busy time of our lives, wasn't it, darling? It sure was. Darling, is something a matter? Oh, nothing wrong, sweetie. I'm just thinking that this is the only clear photo I took of this show. I mostly just focused on you, so I didn't focus on getting a good pic. Oh. I do remember that whenever I felt nervous, I was always able to find your gaze in the crowd, darling. Though, yes, darling, although I love you very, very, very dearly, this is likely the clearest photo you took of that particular show, or possibly of any of my shows. I love you very, very, very much too. I, they're really into each other. I think I've said the word sweetie and darling and love more in the last 5 minutes than I have in about the last 10 years. But no, that's fair. Honestly, never been that great at taking photos. Which I very much still do appreciate, as it's still nice that we have these personal photos. Still grateful that the show organisers always made sure to get clear pics for everyone with their fancy camera. Oh yes, they always made sure everyone got a few really good photos, which I'm especially grateful for. This specific show was the first one for which you made the jewellery I wore, darling. Wow, they really do support each other. Oh yeah, I was always having fun making pieces for you. And your friends always complimented me so much on them. Always, you were so nice no matter what. Darling, everyone always has compliments for you because every time you made pieces, it looks splendid. I don't know if I can keep saying darling, or else I think I'm going to vomit in my mouth a little. Can I replace it with some other words? Okay, I'll try. I must have made a few kind of heck things, but even then you always liked them. And they always did look good on you. Well, honey melon, my point still stands, in some ways at least, I suppose. Oh, Boston bun, now I'm thinking back to how your pieces always did make me feel like a gorgeous woman, which a lot of other people also saw me as. Which now, honeypot, whenever I look back on it, honestly makes me more than a little befuddled on how it took me till my mid-30s to realize I'm a woman. Oh, I am rambling on a bit too much, my little wallaby. It's no problem, sweetie. I like listening to you talk. Well, my point is that it's interesting for me to think about how long it took for me to figure it out. I'm glad you enjoyed this, sweetie. My little Cupid. It was nice to look back on this memory, so thank you for looking at this photo with me. Do you want to move on to the next photo? Yes, why not? My little rainbow? I've got to stop saying my little. Oh, it's me with some bracelet supplies. Oh, I like how it jumped. So we picked one photo and it's gone on to the next one automatically. That's a nice little programming trick. It's me with some bracelet supplies. Oh, yes, I think it is, darling. Our old house. Recognize it by the wallpaper. So definitely long before Mercutio and Capulet, or my cool little website. Oh, why have this photo in here? I like their mugs. Live, laugh, love? Yeah. Why not? No reason really. It just seems like a random choice. I specifically remember I wanted to put that latest photo I had of you in that album, Pumpkin, but I also remember that it was originally working on this album. You mentioned that you like having work in progress photos of your pieces. So when I stumbled upon this particular photo, I decided to put it in. Oh yeah, always fun to look at the in progress versus final versions of stuff I make. I do think I have at least slightly newer work in progress pics though, that you could put in there. Is something wrong? Is something wrong, princess? That sounds little. Oh, nothing's wrong, sweetie. I'm just trying to remember what order I was making in this photo. It was a billig order though. Oh, big order. I thought for a second it was German, and it was like, oh, they didn't translate that word. I was like, aha. But no. Was it not for our old primary school, Pumpkin? Oh yeah, it was. How could I forget? That's interesting because they actually want to make another big order soon, which I'm looking forward to, as they're on one of my biggest clients, and it's always great working with them. Though before that, I'm going to have to start working on this cool necklace order that's going to include an enchanted stone for the young witch that just moved down the street. Oh, there's a whole universe. I wonder if there's another game by these developers about a witch that moves down the street to some two old cats. Although actually, before I start on any of that, I need to put in a bulk bead and material order for that local supply store. Also, I'm wondering if one of the developers also has a bit of a jewelry and bead making line on the side. And this is actually just a promotional device to sell their store stuff, because that's genius. It's like, here's my game, brought to you by Two Old Cat Jewelry Bead Company, as well as make some updates to my website. Oh dear, got carried away a bit there. My little seaweed, I'm never bothered by you talking about things you're passionate or excited about. Well, point is that I have some cool stuff to work on for the next while. That's exciting. It's nice seeing you being so excited, darling. Oh, don't. I'm happy to be reminded of cool work, so thanks. Do you want to move on to the next photo? Yes. Why not? My little spaceship. Moony woony. Let me just quickly put those two photos into their own separate sleeves. Oh, okay. Now we're cooking. Okay. We've done that. We've done that. I don't think we've done this one. Well, why do we not just have a look at the next photo? My chrysanthemum. Of course. Well, darling, don't. The next photo appears to be an empty sleeve, as it seems I forgot to put anything in it. My bad. Pookie, Wookie. It's nothing, but look here. There's some photos on the next page. Oh yes. My little Shakespeare. There is. Oh, it's Capulet and Mercutio. It's baby photos of Mercutio and Capulet. Ooh, the music just dropped out. Well, the rain just dropped out. Oh, it's looping. So yes, I think I think we're getting towards the end of the game already. Normally we only give them half an hour because we just want to have a flavour of them on Queer Games Heck Yeah, because I want to encourage you to go play them themselves. Um, but I think we'll get through this one today, which will be exciting because we don't often get to finish many games. And yes, I am just taking a small break from saying the D word. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready for our final run? Let's see if we can avoid saying that word. Let me just take a moment to stockpile some alternatives. Okay, I think we do this. Let's look at the photo of Capulet first. Such a sweet photo. Oh, oh, my little remote control. I can't quite remember, sweetie. I can't quite place on when we snapped this, so can't figure out exactly what it's about. I'll probably remember later. Oh, keyboard. Was this not taken on the day Capulet learned to walk? The date should be written underneath the photos, darling. They tricked me. They put two darlings in the one little lump. Oh, the date is written here. I think this was taken the day Capulet walked for the first time. So it's a photo of her passed out after running around for the first time. Oh, sweetie, don't mean to interrupt. Oh, it's not really an issue. My little computer monitor. I'm becoming an old hacker, aren't I? We can say fart. We can say old fart. I'm developing the memory of a block of Swiss cheese. My little Inkscape window. I can guarantee you that we're both becoming old farts. What I can't forget is, for a long time, this was what most photos of Capulet looked like. She sure was such a busybody. She sure was a fluff ball of energy, my little fluff ball of energy. It's an amazing way to process such energy for life while so fresh to the world. Let's get back on track. Oh yeah, she was so mad with herself that she wasn't there to see her walk for the first time, so we snapped this. Despite the fact that she was busy fighting a giant town-eating monster. Maybe that's the, she's playing with a teddy bear. My little work desk. She was invested in them as we are. So when she ran up and down and she passed out like that, I was briefly dumbfounded. Despite my best attempts during my moment of astonishment, I remember that I was not able to hold back my laughter. Your look of pure confoundment on your face was priceless. I felt like a computer throwing a blue screen of death at the sheer cuteness of it. This game is very cute. The sheer cuteness of it is probably its most notable feature. Oh, my little Poco mobile phone. I think it looked more like you were going to shoot up into space from the cute overload. This is surely quite a memory. USB cable. It's great that we can look. It's great that we can have this to look back at. Let's look at the other photo. Yes, let us do that. Floor. Oh, wall. Such a cute photo. My little cream pie. If I remember correctly, my little chocolate fondue set. I'm having difficulty remembering exactly when this was taken, so I cannot figure out exactly what this is a photo of, at least not right at this moment. Isn't it of Mercutio receiving Aunt Aga's plush? Aren't the dates written below the photos? You said that about the other photo. Oh, possum. Written beneath each photo is the date that they were taken. Oh, Leadbeater possum. Oh, I already did possum. Oh well. That means it was definitely taken the day after his second birthday. which also means that this has to be a photo of Mercutio receiving the handmade plush that Auntie Agatha made him. Ah, Cane Toad. So sorry for interrupting you. Oh, it's not that big a deal, sweetie. Bull Ant, how could I have forgotten this? Is it making me feel a bit ancient when my memory lapses like this? I think we're both becoming ancient. Though Dolphin, what I can confidently say I remember precisely is there are many more photos of Mercutio with an out of this world sour expression. Oh, humanity. Or was he not scared to be honest about his disdain of something? Not at all. He didn't care at all. I do love this. It's like, I guess I'm not at that point where I'm like content to sit around doing like a nostalgia fest, but it's actually probably something to look forward to in your older years. Just to look at the photos and just kind of go, yeah, this is a life well lived. My precious, I'm glad, even from such a young age, that he was so honest. Though getting back to the photo itself, Buttercup. Oh yes, Aunt Agatha felt so horrible that she was not able to visit on his birthday, so we took this photo to send to her, even though she had been randomly teleported to another planet. She really loved them as much as we do. So, darling, when he pulled the most unimpressed face that I'd ever seen on his face, up to that point at least, I was completely flabbergasted. Despite my attempts, I do remember that. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at your face. Darling, for a fraction of a moment I thought I was going to implode. From the unexpected cuteness. They like their kids. You couldn't get over how cute his sour face looked. What a memory. Animals. My little red ribbon. I'm very glad we have this to look back on now. Oh, well, darling, that appears to be all the photos in the album. Why were they glitching out there? That's interesting. Until I think maybe the transition was applied. There was a transition applied to the head sprites. Oh well. Until I hopefully finish this album at some point in the future. I think you should really finish it. I think it needs your personal touch as well. So, like you suggested earlier, we should finish this together, darling. I would love to. I would also love that, darling. Want to work on it tonight? They're so cute. They're cute together. The rain stopped. My darling, we really must have been so absorbed into this to not notice till now. Both very absorbed. And the sun is almost down. We must have been chatting too much to notice the afternoon flying by. Indeed we did, darling. Do you want some more tea? Darling, do you want to sit outside and watch the sunset? Let's watch the sunset while drinking some tea. I think they're quite elderly cats. That's really interesting, actually. They're walking. I don't know if you can hear that. That's footsteps. Pretty heavy footsteps for two cats, really. And clearly only 2 feet, not 4 or 8. Oh, my lovely. I really enjoyed looking back at these photos and chatting so nicely with you this afternoon. Because honestly, my love, to stop postponing talking about how I feel about the horrific events recently, it really feels like so many things keep changing so quickly recently and that it feels like everything is out of control. So it was nice to slow down like this and reflect on the past. It really helped to make me feel less gloomy. Oh, as well as hopefully make you feel less gloomy, I hope, darling. Which I suspect was what you meant to do when you dug this album out, was it not? Caught me red-pawed. Honestly, yeah, so much has really happened out of nowhere lately. I also feel so uncertain about everything, but looking at these happy memories, especially the ones including her, did make me a little less gloomy. I think we both needed this, and that it was good for both of us. They are laying Agatha to rest on the 18th, if my memory is not scrambled during all of this. Oh no. Yes, they are. Poor Agatha. Do you want to talk more about this now? If you don't, if you don't, that's okay. No, darling, not really. I also stand if you did not want to talk about this more now. Though I am in a weird way glad we did not skip talking about it at all today. I'm also glad we talked about this. Though, do you want to just sit quietly for a bit? I would like that. I would also like that, darling. I said darling again. Oh, I like the art. He seems so happy. Peaceful. Content. Is this what content is? Is this what content looks like? Oh, well, oh, Juliet. Okay, long pause. My precious. We have house. I've already said my precious. We've got to come up with a different one. My little cottontail. We have house chores we forgot to do. Oh yeah, like cleaning the kitchen. Though, my little bunny wunny. I think we can get away with relaxing out here for just a bit. Yes, definitely. This game. Oh, for two old ladies, they have a pretty kicking mobile phone tune. Is it Mercutio or Capulet? Darling, I think that this has some kind of scam caller. Okay, that's making more sense. Want to waste the time a bit? Would be very fun. And we can do the chores later. The kitchen won't explode if we don't do it clean, if we don't clean it now. Why do we not do that then, my little partner in crime? I think some trolling would be good for our health. But, want to go inside first? Yes. A gleaming joy this trolling with it brings. The scam caller, for shame, will not call again. Some house chores shall get done today, and some who knows when. For never was a story of more than this of Juliet and her Romeo. Credits: writing, art, coding, GUI elements. Nameless Mew Mew. Meow Meow? Mew Mew. Nameless Mew Mew / me. Sound effects, yes. Open dyslexic font, yes, classic. But then I think putting italics here at the end undoes a bit of the benefit of using the dyslexic font. And you, the player, little snaps for us, snaps for us. This was Old Gay Cats, Look at All Photos. What a fabulous little footnote on the end. Thanks for playing and hope you enjoyed. I did, very much so. Finn. Well, that was Old Gay Cats, Look at Old Photos. I mean, personally, I do think it needed an editor. It needed a few less darlings. Although, like there's a line between like giving a character a voice and sort of I think like like cobbling your writing a bit. I think maybe if I'm being honest, I think it did tip a little bit over into like a bit too much. Um, what I liked about it the most was that they do seem to be two like extremely elderly cats, like in an allegory there or whatever metaphor or parallel to like just two extremely old people who we don't really see in games. Like I think we see a lot of young people in games. We see a lot of like people at work in games, and we do see a lot of like retirees in games. Well, more and more we see retirees in games. But do we see and we see a lot of dying people in games for sure. Like how many games are there where someone's on their deathbed? And you go inside their memories and relive their past and help them get to like Jupiter or something. But I haven't played many games where it's two people who are extreme elderly, but like still just like living their lives, but in a different phase. So for that, I thought it was extremely valuable. Very cute. I don't know what the replayability with this one is though, because I feel like we've seen it all. Because it wasn't. I don't think there were any choices to be made other than which photos to pick. I think we got to see all the photos as well. I thought that was like it was a little nifty game, but I felt it needed an editor. All right, well, thank you for joining me with Queer Games. Heck yeah. Uh, I'll see you next time, maybe, if there is a next time. All right, bye.